you tell me why Congress just voted to make our air more toxic? Here's a hint: it's not about freedom or efficiency, it's about profits for polluters. Now, here's why this vote to gut Clean Air Act protections is a massive, quiet transfer of risk from corporations to you. Now, let's be clear: Congress just voted to weaken regulations on some of the most dangerous pollutants in the country. Stuff that causes like cancer, birth defects, and brain damage, hurts kids. That's not an opinion. That's straight from the scientists in the EPA's own health risk assessments. Now, the rule that they rolled back, it applies to major sources of hazardous air pollutants like mercury, lead, dioxins. These aren't your average emissions. We're talking super toxins, the worst of the worst. Now, since 1990, EPA had a rule called once in, always in. It meant that if you were ever classified a major source of toxic pollution, you stayed in that category and stayed subject to the best pollution controls, even if you later reduced emissions. Now, why keep polluters under those tough rules? Because toxic emissions don't vanish. They're going to build up in the air, the soil, in your body. The once always in rule was designed to lock in pollution reductions, keep total air toxics low in certain areas. But now Congress walked back that rule. They used a legislative sledgehammer. This is called the Congressional Review Act. That means that the EPA can't make a similar rule again without jumping through legal fire. Now, plain English, something like 1,800 industrial facilities, oil refineries, chemical plants, steel mills, they can now petition to downgrade their status. They're going to face less scrutiny and weaker emission standards. That is the regulatory Wild West. And industry groups are cheering. The National Association of Manufacturers called the old rule technically unachievable and economically infeasible. Here's a translation for you: they don't want to pay for pollution controls. So now you pay with your lungs, your kids' health, and higher public health costs. This is a textbook example of what economists call externalities. Polluters save money, but the costs don't disappear. They just get dumped on you, the public, especially in communities near those facilities, low income facilities. Think the Gulf Coast, Appalachia, Rust Belt towns. And here's the kicker: none of this has anything to do with smart economics. It's not about efficiency or innovation. This is a pork barrel solution, a government subsidy for companies that don't want to clean up their act. You want to talk about economic freedom? What about your freedom to breathe clean air, to raise kids in a neighborhood that doesn't slowly poison them, to not have your tax dollars cleaning up after these deregulated facilities? This move is part of a broader pattern: roll back rules, push risk onto the public, deliver short term gains to industry, and call it deregulation. Guess what? It's privatized profits, socialized cost. It reeks, literally and figuratively.